Welcome to Bod's Mayhem Hour, your source for all hard rock, heavy metal, new metal, alternative, punk, horror punk, hardcore, rock, and all local bands, with your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bodfather.
This is Will Putney from Fit for an Autopsy, and you're listening to Bod's Mayhem Hour.
The views and opinions of the guest do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of Bod's Mayhem Radio Network, its staff, affiliates, or sponsors. Parental discretion is advised. Welcome to Bod's Mayhem Radio Network.
Hey everybody, welcome to Bod's Mayhem Hour. I'm your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bodfather, and as always, I'm bringing you guys and gals awesome interviews. Today, it's an honor and a huge privilege to have Mr. Will Putney, guitarist of Fit for an Autopsy. New Jersey six-piece Fit for an Autopsy will release their fifth studio album, The Sea of Tragic Beasts, on October 25th via Nuclear Blast Records worldwide and Human Warfare in Australia. The band will hit the road this fall to support the release of The Sea of Tragic Beasts. The 26-date U.S. tour will kick off on October 24th in Brooklyn, New York, and will make stops in Atlanta, Austin, and Los Angeles before concluding in Rochester, New York on November 23rd. So they got a lot of stuff coming up and good album getting ready to drop out. So, Will, how's it going, man?
Good, man. Thank you for having me.
No problem whatsoever. So how's it been working with Adam Splitter PR so far for you guys?
Oh, it's great. Amy's great, and we work together on some other stuff for me on the producer side. And having her on board for this was really cool. She's super good at her job, and she lives really close to our home base, so it's easy to just coordinate with her, and she gets it done.
Now, this is Fit for an Autopsy's fifth studio album. In today's music world, some bands only put an EP or an album out, then they're done, Will. You know that just as well as I do. How does it feel to still be able to put these albums out, especially a fifth one in today's world that we live in right now?
I never thought we'd be this deep into a career ever. We started this band for fun. We had no aspirations of doing anything more than just playing shows with our friends in New Jersey, and to how it's grown over the past 10 years we've been a band, it's just nuts. I would have never called it.
It's insane too, because there's been a lot of good bands, in my opinion, that's put out an album that's been really great, and then you don't hear nothing from them at all, and I'm going, what the hell? I don't know if it's either just the right fit for the band, or if it's just money-wise or what it is, but it just blows my mind now these days.
I mean, it's hard to be a full-time band, especially in extreme music. It's really hard, and I think, there has to be, some level of commitment from everybody to just be we have to prioritize this in our lives. People miss important family events. People struggle with money. It becomes really difficult the longer you get into a career being a band in this world, and it takes a long time before it really turns over. I don't think, we're not in any kind of position where we're super comfortable and making a killing off of being in Fit for an Autopsy or anything like that. We still have our daily struggles with managing life in the band, and for a lot of people, I could see how that could take its toll and be really challenging to continue, so even though there are these brilliant bands out there, there's this whole other layer of just commitment and dedication, and then being resourceful enough to figure out how to have a life that functions while you're in a full-time band. It's really hard. I understand why bands give it up,
What's impressed or excited you the most, Will, about making The Sea of Tragic Beasts, if anything? What sticks out for you the most personally?
For me, I was just really excited. We had sort of moved into some new territory on the last record and tried some things with our band that we never had done before, and just threw a bunch of stuff out there to see how people would like it, and it was met with a pretty good response, I thought. So going into this one, I was just really excited to not have any kind of restrictions or not really feel like I'm not sure if something's going to work. I just knew I saw a clearer path than I ever had for making a record with the band, and I feel like on this one, we were able to just get right to it like that. It was more streamlined, and like the creative process was really fun. I think just going in, the feeling of excitement going into this one, knowing like, hey, what we're doing is kind of cool, people are digging it. It was just like a more unique feeling than we've ever had making a record. I really enjoyed that.
So would you say last album up till now, it kind of pushed you guys out of your comfort zone in a way?
The last album definitely did. I mean, we changed a lot about our approach to songwriting and the type of moods and vibe that like a band in our world could really pull off, you know. We get lumped in with a lot of bands in like that deathcore world, and we kind of made it a point to just try some new things that we felt weren't really being executed in that genre on the last one, and you know, that's sort of something we carried into this record too. Always wanted this band to just have its own identity, be kind of a unique thing, and not really just be lumped in with a lot of other bands. So it was like a clear choice to kind of make our own music, you know.
How long did it take to write and complete The Sea of Tragic Beasts?
We chipped away at it. We spent a good amount of time on this one. The band was touring, and I was at home writing for a while. And then we had a couple sessions where we'd get together and we'd chip away at certain things. I know we did guitars and drums and vocals all in like separate sessions with some downtime in between, partially because I was a bit busy at the studio, and then also because it just gave us more time to rehearse, work on stuff, make sure vocals were in the right place. Like, we definitely spaced ourselves out. We knew we had the time before this record was going to come out. It was like a longer period of time between the two albums, and we took advantage of that. It gave us like a nice big window to make this one.
Any songs standing out more to you than any right now on the album? I know it must change every time you listen to it. I know you guys are really close to them, but do you have any that stand out for you personally?
Oh man, great. It's like one big song still for me. I'm going to have to go away from it for a little while, but I'm really excited with the singles that are coming out. I'm really excited about all of them. There's cool messages in the songs, and I like every song on this album. I don't really feel like any particular one's dragging. They all feel different to me, and then like whatever kind of mood I'm in that day, I'll like one song more than another. You know, we definitely cover all the bases on this one, so it's cool to like, you know, it's cool that there's something for everybody on there.
Was it hard to choose between the current set of songs? Which one would be the first single or video you wanted to release or push first, or was it hands down Mirrors for you guys?
We all loved Mirrors. That was like a unanimous, everybody had like a top 3 list, and Mirrors was in it, you know, so it was like pretty clear that we were really happy with that song. I liked the message of the song a lot. I wanted to get that out there early, and that was a big part of choosing that song. And the label was really into that one. That one kind of just fell into place. We all just knew that song was like a winner for us, you know. And then, yeah, we've been back and forth. We had our singles picked up until the art was done and everything, and then later in the game, we kind of even changed it. So there's like some of the stuff that'll come out, you know, from here out. We were back and forth on for a long time, but it was hard to pick singles on this, which I guess is a good problem. But we,
yeah.
You know, I hope people get to the whole record, because I feel like there's a lot of material on it that's just as strong as the singles that we're putting out.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of people who just don't give a full album enough time and respect. It's like, well, first 3 songs, I'm done. It's like they'd rather have an EP, but I would rather have that full album, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I agree, and this one's like considerably longer than the last one too. Some of the songs are longer, and there's more tracks. We just like, yeah, we cut down a lot of stuff, but what we were left with was this really cool pile of songs that we didn't feel we needed to chop down any further or anything. But there's just like a lot of stuff deeper in the album that's really cool. Some more adventurous stuff for us for sure.
Now, the music video Mirrors was directed by Max Moore. How is working with him, and what was the appeal to get him on board on this?
Max is great. We've had Max. It's the 3rd video we've done with Max. Every album now we try to get at least one with him before he goes super Hollywood and just starts directing movies. It becomes too expensive for us, because I think he's great. And the concept for this one, we wanted to tell this story, and the idea came up that we would just not be in this video and just let the narrative like speak for itself. I definitely have a hard time watching some music videos that have performance cut in when there's like a really important story or a really captivating story. It's like you want to follow the story, but then you're kind of almost distracted by the band sometimes. And some are great, but some sort of it's a disservice to like the message of the song. So for this, it was like, let's just get out of the way. Let's let Max be great. And we worked on this treatment. We were back and forth on this treatment for a long time, and then he just smashed it. And what we got back was just basically the finished product.
What do you hope everyone takes away from the new single Mirrors, or message you hope they hear while listening to it, or just any of Fit for an Autopsy's music in general, Will? What do you hope everybody gets from it all?
I don't know. I mean, it's different for everyone. Obviously, we're not really a positive band. I don't feel like we ever really put a message out there that feels good, you know?
Right.
It's sort of meant to be aggressive and uncomfortable and dark and sad and stuff, but I think, like, the good payoff, what I enjoy is, like, when we talk to kids or kids message us and they say, you know, they relate to what we're talking about in the song. It's like a shared frustration in the world that we have this, like, collective bond with people who seem to like our band, and it's just cool that we're able to show kids, like, hey, you know, you're probably not the only one that feels like this. Like, we're pissed off about this too, or we're upset about this. And having kids being able to, like, find a place to relate their frustrations is sort of like what feels good for us, you know? It's like the positive, hey, you're not alone in the world vibe that, you know, kind of is why we put the messages into our music that we do. And I just really enjoy that. I hope people, you know, can relate to the songs on some level, and I hope that it just gets you thinking and, you know, just shows you that we feel the same way you do.
Now, you produced this album as well. Do you like having that control, when to write, when to produce, things like that? Do you like having that control to do whenever you want to do it?
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. I get to just kind of do whatever I want and whatever the band wants with our songs. It's just unrestricted, and we don't have any outside influence on our music. We just write the music we want, record it how we want on our terms. It definitely adds a layer of pressure because I have to take on everything when I make these albums. In that sense, I don't have like another dude or producer or engineer that I could kind of, oh, he's going to handle that. I don't have to think about that. I have to constantly be in it. And they could wear you out after a while, but this one was great. Like, I didn't really feel gassed or feel like any of that uncomfortable pressure this time. It was just like a really easy one to get through.
The artwork for the album was done by Adam Burke. How was working with him on this, and what was the appeal to work with him again?
Good. I mean, Adam's great. I love the oil painting stuff that he does. And he's one of my favorite painters, and we used him last time. He's really easy to work with, and we just knew, like, the type of concept we had, he'd be able to kill it. And, you know, again, like, we talked it out for a long time, and, like, basically the first thing we saw from him was it. You know, he's one of those guys who can really take an idea and run with it and just add stuff that you wouldn't have thought about. And, you know, in my head, it's hard to describe art to people. You know, in my head, I'm painting this picture mentally as I'm telling him what I want to see in the cover and what our ideas are and stuff. And then what I get back is just beyond what I could have even conceptualized. You know, it's just like, yeah, that's why we hire you. You're the man. You know? So, yeah, I mean, I love the people that we work with. We've had, you know, I'm happy to say that, like, we're lucky enough to get these guys that just deliver really cool stuff for us, and it takes some of the stress out of that phase of getting an album together.
Do you still see this band musically growing, or has it just been more of a personal growth for each of you guys involved in the band?
I think it's going to keep going. I think it's going to get even crazier and weirder, and we're going to, you know, there's some stuff in the works that in the future will be on a more experimental tip than we ever have. I want to keep pushing it. I think you'll see a more drastic jump than ever between our albums from here out. Now that, like, we've all found our footing and feel comfortable taking some chances and doing some unconventional things, I don't think it'll ever stop.
What does Fit for an Autopsy bring to the table for music that's not out there as of right now? I know no one's reinventing the wheel, but what are you adding to that wheel, Will? Will.
Will. I like that. I don't know. I think that's subjective, I guess. It's for people to decide, but I like taking aggressive music and throwing some things in it that you don't normally hear, or moving song structures in a way that isn't maybe super predictable all the time. It's just a sum of all the styles of music that we like and listen to, and we try to pack in as much of that in a creative way as we can on our songs, you know. So I hope people just don't see us as a one-trick pony, because there's a lot of layers to this album.
When you're coming into the recording studio, do you like to do anything differently during the writing and recording process? And I know that's two different things, to maybe help keep your mind fresh and open, to not get stale or not get bored with it. I know you're producing all this, but do you do anything that lets you just not get bored with all this?
I like being removed from music. It definitely helps me. I've noticed, like, in the past, or like working with other bands, the more I'm like kind of listening for what other people are doing and trying to find influences and stuff, like almost unnaturally, that I'm not as happy with the end result. For me, it's cool to like listen to a bunch of stuff and then go away from it and not really be jamming a bunch of bands or referencing a bunch of different, you know, mixes or recording things, and just kind of like let it all go and just do what I think sounds cool. And I wind up getting my favorite stuff that way, not really paying attention to anything else that's going on. I think that's like a really cool trick to just get out of the box, you know.
Yeah.
And I've had a lot of success doing that.
What can fans expect at a show from Fit for an Autopsy who have not got to see you guys live as of yet? What are they going to get when they come to see you?
It's going to be very loud and very aggressive. We've been fine-tuning a live show for a while now, and I think the headliner one that's coming up is probably our coolest set. A lot of old songs, a lot of new songs, just a really cool mix of everything the band's done and some new tricks. And yeah, it's going to be aggressive.
Having these 5 albums out now, is it kind of hard now to get a set list going, especially like playing stuff that you haven't played before, maybe, possibly?
It is, because we all have our own different favorites from old records, and every time we put an album out, we've got to add some singles to the set, and there's only so much time, so it's like picking the songs has become way more challenging, like when we go further back into the catalog, or we want to play like non-single songs, because everybody's in a different mindset about which one we should do and what the favorite one is and what's going to work better. So yeah, we go back and forth on it for a while, but we always land on something that everyone's good on, which is cool. We haven't ever played a set that the whole band wasn't really into.
So what made you want to become a musician? What was that spark for you that said, yeah, that's what I want to do right there?
I picked up a guitar when I was like 12 or 13. I think I started playing guitar. And at the time I was pretty into the 90s grunge era stuff, Nirvana and Soundgarden and things like that. And then I found metal and Metallica and Pantera and Slayer, and as I started just learning songs, I realized, like, hey, this isn't actually that hard. I think I could write songs, and like I could do this. And I think the real like spark for me was going to see some like local hardcore shows when I was a kid. I'd never experienced like a hardcore show, and at 15 in New Jersey, they were pretty insane. So like getting to see that early and seeing how the energy was and how crazy those were and stuff, I was just like, yeah, I want to start a band. I want to do this. I want to play here. That was really like the catalyst for me to like move forward with it.
Yeah, I'd say those were insane. See, man, you think it was easy, and I can't even play fucking Mary Had a Little Lamb on a damn guitar. So see, I can't.
Well, you gotta practice, you know.
Will, is there a country that stands out or shocks you that Fit for an Autopsy gets support from, or your music even gets played in those areas possibly? Have you seen anything that kind of sticks out for you?
I mean, anytime like a place that we don't live in or don't really get to visit a lot supports the band, I'm always like super impressed by it and very flattered. You know, it's awesome how the internet has like let people from all over the world discover our band, and you know, we're super grateful for it, and we owe our career to it, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, Australia's been incredible for the band. We're like, the shows that we've played there and the 2 times that we've been over there have been 2 of the most fun tours that the dudes have ever had. And it's just awesome that a place that's so nice likes super aggressive, dark music so much. I still haven't quite figured out what they're so mad about.
Folks, check it out. This fall, Fit for an Autopsy will be on a 26-date U.S. tour that will kick off October 24th in Brooklyn, New York. And like I said earlier, we'll make stops in Atlanta, Austin, and Los Angeles before concluding in Rochester, New York on November 23rd. You definitely want to get out and check these guys out. Also, Fit for an Autopsy will release their 5th studio album, The Sea of Tragic Beasts, on October 25th via Nuclear Blast Records. So, Will, my friend, how can folks stay in touch with you guys, buy this new album coming out, tour dates, all this good stuff? How can they do that?
You can head to any of our social media pages. Just type Fit for an Autopsy in the Facebook or Instagram or Twitter. We're constantly updating those. And if you want a direct link, theseaoftragicbeasts.com has all our pre-order stuff, tour dates, music videos. We're going to be updating that all the way through the record. So theseaoftragicbeasts.com for all your Fit for an Autopsy.
Before I let you go, good sir, would you care to do a promo for the show?
Sure, I'd love to. This is Will Putney from Fit for an Autopsy, and you're listening to Bod's Mayhem Hour.
Everybody stick around. We got some great stuff coming up, and you only hear these interviews right here on Bod's Mayhem Hour and Bod's Mayhem Radio Network. Please get out and check out our Facebook page. It has our YouTube link, podcast link, and soon our Twitch link. And also, please subscribe and like our YouTube channel, because anything and everything Bod's Mayhem Hour related is going up on our YouTube channel, plus all of our stuff is on our podcast link. Please get out and check out Fit for an Autopsy. Really great band. Will and the guys, they fucking kill it. I love what they bring to the table for music, and I love how their style is. And it's very different, and I like what they do. So, Will, congratulations, my friend, and the best of luck from here on out with you guys.
Awesome, man. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
You're listening to Bod's Mayhem Hour.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.